Let me get Major Shah into this conversation. So, Major Shah, she's doing her job, okay, which is to ensure that the Hajj pilgrimage, which is a once in a lifetime major deal for Muslims from all across the world, not only that the maximum number of Indians get to go every year, but the facilities that they get, the treatment that they get is the best possible that is available. And the Saudis are going out of their way to roll out the red carpet, to make an effort to not only do things, but be seen to do things. What do you make of this visit?
Well, Rishabh, firstly, I would tell everyone that, I would like to explain the difference between Hajj and Umrah right now. Hajj is the pilgrimage which we all know, and Umrah is the lesser Hajj, which means Hajj has a specific time where you do your tawaf. Tawaf is the 7 rounds you do around the Kaaba Sharif. In Mecca, the holy Mecca, the mosque, you see the famous picture, you see it's very often very, very popular. You can see it in calendars and pictures and photographs, it's there. And Umrah is, you can do tawaf, you can visit Mecca and Madinah any time of the year. It need not be during the Hajj time. That's Umrah. So I've been very fortunate to have done one Hajj and a couple of Umrahs. In fact, this was especially during the time when my father was posted as a diplomat in Saudi Arabia, and Ambassador Goyal just mentioned about there used to be an appointment of Joint Secretary Gulf. Yes, there was Ambassador Fabian, who was the Joint Secretary Gulf at that time. In fact, who was also later on the ambassador to Qatar, Indian ambassador to Qatar. Now, when we see सहूलियत हो रही है हिंदुस्तानियों को खास तौर से, because Hajj is a duty of every single practicing Muslim in the world to perform Hajj once in his lifetime. It is his duty. So it is mandatory. And there are certain norms, there are certain conditions, like you cannot go there on borrowed money, you cannot go there, you have to be self-sufficient, self-dependent when you do Hajj. And Madinah is again there's a very holy mosque over there, and I have very, very fond memories of both Mecca, Madinah, be it Arafah. Arafah is where we believe, where Akhirat ke time, when the day of judgment, when all the souls will gather in that place to actually hear the verdict from Allah, from God, about who's going to heaven, who's going to hell. So that is if you do good deeds.
Okay.
If you do
right. Okay. Thanks for the just the important introductory part on this. So let me Major Shah get onto this on the real issues, right? So you know what the issue has been. The issue has been that since 1905, maybe even before that, we have been told, all of us, that we are two countries. There are Hindus and there are Muslims. They happen to occupy the same territory, but they're two completely different nations. We've gone through bitter divisions, bitter partition over it, and that aspect has not left us easily. It's not gone away. Now you have a Hindu woman who is a Minister of Minority Affairs in Saudi Arabia, ensuring that not only the Hajj quota, but the facilities, the treatments are being reviewed, and all efforts are being made by the Saudis for the upcoming Hajj year. What do you make of this? Have we finally eroding some myths regarding our two nations?
Okay, Rishabh, the very fact is, of course, the relationship between India and Saudi Arabia is only growing, and Prince Salman from Saudi Arabia, earlier they had a very conservative approach, which means a woman could not perform, could not go out, forget about doing a pilgrimage, forget about anything else, forget about going out. She couldn't do it without a mehram. Mehram is what? Mehram is either a husband or a son or a brother or a husband. So unless accompanied by a mehram, she had to wear an abaya. Abaya is not the hijab or the burqa. Abaya is the black gown with their head covered. So now, earlier, those were the rules in Salah time, that's the prayer time. You couldn't be seen on the streets in Saudi Arabia. You had, irrespective of whichever religion you belong to, you have to be inside the house or in the mosque in Salah time. Otherwise, the mutawwas, that is the religious police. They're known as mutawwa, the moral police. They will catch you. Now, the very fact, when we see a delegation of Indians, when we see non-Muslims who are there in Mecca, inspecting things on ground, it is a very, very welcome step. In fact, when I was in the army as well, I have led Havans, I have led the Mandir parade. So we as Indians, I would say, India is a very, very secular country. For us, humanity came before religion, in fact, and religion came much after that. So I think it's a very, very good move, and it is something we have to show to the world that, in India, as Indians, We believe that we are all one. The humanity is greater than any religion, in fact. So the very fact is, when Saudi Arabia also now they're opening up to a more broad-minded approach. Prince Salman has made a lot of developments, like women couldn't be
Yes.
allowed to be driving Saudi
Yeah,
Arabia.
they couldn't
Now
right,
today,
right. Yeah, yeah. So, Major Shah, let me come back into this. The objective should be, in an ideal basis, that we are all working towards a common good, and the identity, the religion, the religiosity of the individual should not matter. Now, you've seen an Indian delegation there that is consisting of a Muslim Indian ambassador, a Hindu Indian minister, and Sikh members of the Indian delegation, all going to Madinah, all doing the best they can for Indian citizens who happen to be Muslims, for whom the Hajj is an important trip. I just mentioned Mohammed Shami, as we speak, has just won an Arjuna Award. So this entire conceptualization that there is Hindu government is going to favor Hindus only and not work for Muslims, and they have to live in fear, who knows what kind of riot and genocide is about to happen. Are we now getting beyond this, dhire dhire?
firstly, yeah, it's a very good question, Rishabh. I would like to clear everyone's misconceptions about the fact. जैसे शबो जी ने बताया कि हिंदुस्तान से बेहतर कोई देश ही नहीं है माइनॉरिटीज के लिए, और कोई ऐसा डर का माहौल नहीं है. लोगों ने ऐसे बना रखा है, कोई खतरे में नहीं है, ना हिंदू ना मुसलमान. So लोगों ने ऐसा बना रखा है, ऐसा communal माहौल. So the very fact is, I would urge people not to go by the rumors, and that's to go by the experiences, not to go on hearsay. A rumor will spread. Something is happening. There's a genocide happening. The massacre happening. Rubbish. Just bunk up. We live in a Hindu society, in a colony where they are primarily dominated by Hindus. Let me tell you, they are very peace-loving. They love me. They love us. We love them. And on our respective festivals, we meet and greet each other with a lot of love, with a lot of gifts, with a lot of heart. So that kind of माहौल जो जिसकी लोग बात करते हैं ना, that's all bunk up. Now, secondly, yes, you mentioned about Dr. Suhail Khan, the Indian ambassador, the Sikh gentleman who's present over there, even the Indian Army's defense attaché to Saudi Arabia, Colonel Grewal. They're from the same regiment of artillery. In fact, you all saw that on the viral video of Sudan. When Sudan crisis happened, we saw an Indian Army officer standing there and saying, gentlemen, do not worry. Ladies and gentlemen, do not worry. The Indian Army is here. We are here to help you out. That is Colonel Grewal. So that is the ethos and spirit of every Indian and the Indian Army. So the very fact is, when we have an Indian delegation over there of all communities, it actually gives a message very loud and clear that yes, we are a salad bowl nation. We're not a melting pot. In a salad bowl nation, a cucumber, a salad, a tomato, a potato live together. They coexist. There's unity of diversity in India. We are not a mental melting pot, unlike the West, where one is not really united. We have to see. These are five fingers in a palm. If one finger gets fractured, I cannot clench my wrist.